going to start talking to the beginners because we know that you had to get into this somehow, right? We did. What was it, like 8 years ago?
Approximately.
And I say we hadn't done anything like this before, but you did go-karting, I did motocross racing. So we both knew that we enjoyed going fast, but we had not done cars.
We both like stuff with helmets.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And fast. So do you want to just kind of briefly talk about, well, all right, I'll tell it really quickly. So Brian is riding his bike home from work one day and passes the Porsche dealership, and he comes home and he says, oh my gosh, we have to get this car that's sitting out at the Porsche dealership. I'm like, Porsche, did we win the lottery and you forgot to tell me? But both kids were graduating college that year, and so we had some light at the end of the tunnel as far as finances went. We got that car and woo, just slippery slope. We took a performance driving school and then got into autocross and became instructors. And then we said, we got to do a big boy track. So we got into the big tracks, and the rest is history. And he's really, really, really good. So let's talk about people who are just thinking about maybe getting into this and what they need to think about. So what are some things they need to think about?
The things you need to think about are plentiful. But you also need
It's helpful.
you need to first understand what your motivations are. I really think, do you want to learn how to drive your car faster?
Yeah, maybe you just bought a Ferrari and you've never had a fast car and you want to learn the tricks on the road, right? And how to be a safer driver. Maybe you have a kid, 16 years old, and you want to put them through some sort of performance driving, or all sorts of goals. Maybe you want to be a professional race car driver.
Could be. You're probably too old to do that.
Hey,
Let's just lay it out there.
Hey, you're too old for that.
Unless you're a 12-year-old kid coming up the ranks. A little bit too late, maybe. The thing I find a lot of times, drivers love race car driving. They love watching Formula One. They love watching NASCAR. Racing is one of the most popular sports on the planet, gaining momentum. And I think people just think, well, I could do that, right? I can drive a car.
I can write a book.
Anyone thinks they're an author.
Right.
And then they go, well, how do I do it? Is it even accessible? For us, I had no idea you could drive your car on a racetrack.
Like a regular car.
I had no
Your
clue.
street car. Right.
I didn't even know. I heard of autocross before, which is driving your car through a course made of cones in a parking lot. I had never seen it. And the reality is, when we bought our car, we randomly ran into a guy on an airplane, I believe, who asked us if we were members of the Porsche Club. I remember this vividly.
Yeah.
And we said, no, it seems kind of snooty. Like, it's not for us. We just like the cars. We like to go fast. We don't think we want to do the social stuff. And he said, well, they have this cool thing called the Performance Driving School. And we checked it out. And for like $500, we had 2 full days of the most fun experience, I think. One of the most fun experiences we've had as a couple.
And super valuable because they teach you things that you might need on the road in a safety situation. So they teach you car control. They teach you, you get on a soapy map thingy and you just learn car control. So I think there's a lot of safety to be taught there. And I would encourage all of you, if you can find any sort of a performance driving school, go for it, because that's going to be really valuable. And then you have to ask yourself, okay, I want to go further. I want to go to the big tracks, the ones we see on TV, the Formula One tracks, right? And to do that, you're going to have to think about, first of all, what kind of car do you have? And we're talking about, like, it's really cool. You can take, if you have a Subaru, if you have a Volkswagen, whatever, you can take it on the track and learn to drive, which is very cool.
Any car.
Yeah.
That's the cool part. You don't need to have a sports car. You can take a Toyota Corolla to the track if you want to.
And it blew my mind when you told me, because I said, oh my God, are we ruining our car? And you said no. Like it actually, sure, you burn through brakes a little faster and of course tires, but you said we are not ruining our car, our street car. And that was kind of mind-blowing for me.
They're designed to do it. I mean,
yeah.
If you have a sports car, it's meant to be driven fast. You can't do that safely on the street. Street racing is not a thing we recommend, and it's illegal and all that other stuff. On a track, you get to push your limits in an extremely safe environment with a lot of safety equipment, with very good instruction, with flag workers. It's just everything's orchestrated and it's designed to maximize your fun and your safety.
Okay, so let's go back to now what? Okay, so people have said, yay, I want to do this.
Yeah.
Now what? And I think one of the first things we've already talked about, you got to establish your goals. Why are you doing this? And we've talked about, we've kind of alluded to the fact that there are some clubs out there. So how do you pick the club that you want to join with?
Yeah, we've learned every mistake you can make, first of all. So we've gone through multiple cars. I have crashed 2 cars. I've done it all. And here's the thing. First is find the nearest track to your home. By and large, if you live in any state in the country, pretty much, there's going to be a track within 300 miles. Probably.
And what do you look for in a track? Like, you're not looking just for an oval. You're looking for
typically a road course. They're designed with left and right turns, not an oval like you see in NASCAR. And then what you'll find is if you look on a great website is called Motorsport Reg. And Motorsport Reg lists all driving events within a certain radius of your house. And you can see all these different organizations pop up. And usually these events are conducted on a weekend, not always. And usually there's going to be a lot of instruction available to you.
Yep.
And often those instructors are included with the cost of admission. So it's an incredibly good value.
It really is. And so we're not going to make a recommendation about which club you should go with, but there are things to consider. Some of them have a lot of social events. So if you maybe have a spouse who doesn't want to drive, but you guys want to do some back road touring or some, wine events or whatever, then the social stuff might appeal to you. Some are more race oriented as opposed to, time trials or a little more relaxed. Some are very serious, some are relaxed. So check them out and look through your list of criteria of what you're looking for in a club. And the people count too. Meet the people and you're going to really gel with some of them and not with others. And Brian talked about instruction. So let's talk about the idea of instructors. Like, what if you don't like your instructor? What if you get paired up with somebody who just isn't resonating with you? How do you choose an instructor and have a really good two-way relationship?
Oh, that's great. We're getting into now the actual event and what should you expect? What do you, from
and
the
we
instructor?
have a whole piece coming up on that on the actual event day.
So obviously, Dan and I are both instructors. We run Full Throttle Driving Academy. So we have our own unique styles. We have different ways of teaching, and we resonate with different students who have the learning styles that more closely align with the way we like to teach. So I think first and foremost is you have to understand what is your learning style. Dana is a classic example. She is a kinesthetic learner, meaning she needs to feel it in her butt in the car, all the sensations assaulting her. And then if you tell her what's going on and what to do, she does it and she learns it and she can nail it. If you sit down and show her a bunch of squiggly lines on a graph, no, not going to be for her. Video is probably second best for her. If we go through her driving videos, we can instruct, certain things you should be doing a little bit more optimally. She can learn from visual learning as well. So I would say primarily she's kinesthetic, secondarily visual. Some people can read a book. I'm one of those. I can read a book called Speed Secrets. I've read it 5 times and I absorb it and I can apply that to the car. And then the last class of learning is auditory. Some people can just listen like to this and whatever we teach, they can absorb and apply. So
perfect. So the bottom line too is that if you're paired up with an instructor and it just isn't working, you can ask for a different instructor because
Right.
you're not going to resonate with everybody. And most of them are good. It doesn't mean they're a fast driver. The best instructors are not necessarily the fastest drivers out there. They just know how to teach. They know the important fundamentals. So
the instructor's job is primarily to keep you safe. Their secondary job would be to make sure you're having fun. And then tertiary responsibility is to make you achieve your goals. So first thing is tell your instructor your goals, but also tell them your top secret goals. I like to say people are reluctant sometimes to say, hey, you know what? I just want to beat my buddy who's at the thing with me. I want to be faster than Frank. Or they might say, think I'm a damn good driver. I want to get into I want to go to autocross and kick everyone's butt. Or sometimes they might just say, I had a student say this once. I just want to see if my car can get up to 150 miles per hour at the end of the straightaway.
Yeah.
And that's all I care about. And I'm like, cool, man. I guarantee you we can probably do that and you'll have a blast. And we'll
things
do
are
it in
going
a
to
safe
change
way.
too. Like when we started, if you asked me my goals, I never would have said I want to become an instructor. I want to be really fast. I would have probably gone, I don't know. I want to get out here and have some fun. So don't worry about it if you don't have that nailed. So choose a good club to align yourself with. Make sure that you are getting the instructor that works well for you. And make sure you have the proper gear if you're going to go into this. And we're going to have another video on preparing for game day, basically, and then another one for, it's your first day at the track, and what do you do? So, I don't know. I think we've kind of wrapped it up on what to think about if you're getting into the idea of driving a car real fast.
First of many videos to come, so stay with us. We'll have a lot of
Yeah.
good content for you.
Kissy, kissy.
That's my hot wife, and she's a speedy driver.